Stop what you're doing right now, because what you are about to hear is not a tech blog opinion or a recycled headline you have already scrolled past. This is documented, verified, and happening at this exact moment on hundreds of millions of Android phones across the world, including almost certainly the one sitting in your hand or your pocket right now. There are 7 applications installed on Android devices today that have been confirmed through independent cybersecurity research, through regulatory findings, and through legal proceedings in multiple countries to be transmitting your personal data to servers located in China. Your location, your face, your voice, your contacts, your financial behavior, your children's information, all of it moving silently, continuously in the background while you go about your day completely unaware that any of it is happening. June 15th is not a date chosen for dramatic effect. It is tied to regulatory enforcement windows and policy deadlines that will affect how these applications operate going forward. And the time between now and that date is the window you have to act before the situation becomes significantly harder to reverse. But before the list, you need to understand something that changes the entire context of everything that follows. Because without this foundation, the apps just sound like a privacy inconvenience. With it, they sound like exactly what they are. In 2017, the Chinese government passed the National Intelligence Law. That law requires every Chinese company and every Chinese citizen to cooperate with Chinese government intelligence operations upon request. There is no judicial review. There is no warrant requirement in any form that resembles democratic legal process. There is no notification to the individual whose data is being accessed. If the Chinese government wants data that a Chinese company holds, that company provides it. No challenge, no appeal, no exceptions. This is not a theoretical risk based on geopolitical speculation. This is the written legal framework under which every Chinese technology company currently operates, which means that any application sending your data to servers in China or operated by a company subject to Chinese law is an application where your most personal information exists within a legal system that grants a foreign government intelligence apparatus unrestricted access to it. That is the foundation. Now look at your phone. The first application is TikTok. And before you decide you have already heard this, understand that most people who have heard the TikTok warning still have it installed because nobody ever told them the specific technical details of what the application actually collects. Security researchers who reverse engineered the TikTok application found that it accesses clipboard data on your device. Every time you copy anything, a password, a bank account number, a private address, a message, TikTok can read it. The application collects your precise GPS coordinates, not a general regional approximation, but your exact physical location accurate to within meters. It collects persistent device identifiers that allow it to track you even after you delete and reinstall the application. It maps your Wi-Fi networks and your Bluetooth connections. It builds a behavioral profile of your usage patterns that goes far beyond what any entertainment platform needs to function. Internal documents and independent technical research have repeatedly demonstrated data flows between TikTok's systems and servers in China, despite years of official assurances to the contrary. Multiple governments have removed TikTok from government devices. The United States Congress passed legislation requiring ByteDance to divest from the application entirely. In June 2025, regulatory pressure across Europe and North America has continued escalating. The direction this is heading has been clear for years. The only question is whether you are going to wait for a government to make this decision for you, or whether you are going to make it yourself today. The second application is CapCut. This one surprises people every single time because CapCut is genuinely useful. It is a powerful, free, beautifully designed video editor, and that usefulness has made it one of the most downloaded applications in the world. But CapCut is made by ByteDance, the exact same company that makes TikTok, the exact same legal obligations, the exact same data access framework. And what makes CapCut more alarming than TikTok is the nature of the data it processes. When you edit a video in CapCut, the application analyzes the faces in that footage. It collects facial geometry data. If you use the voice features, it collects your voice biometric print. If you use any of the AI enhancement tools, it is processing deeply personal biometric information not only about you, but about every person who appears in your videos. Your children, your family members, your friends, none of whom ever agreed to have their biometric data analyzed and stored by a company operating under Chinese government data access laws. A free video editor is not worth that trade. Nothing is worth that trade. The third application is Temu. It appeared from nowhere, and within months was one of the most installed shopping applications on the planet, driven by an advertising campaign of extraordinary scale and prices that seemed almost impossible. There's a reason those prices are that low, and it has nothing to do with supply chain efficiency. Cybersecurity researchers at Grizzly Research published a detailed technical analysis of the Temu Android application, and what they documented was described as dangerous spyware-level code. The application requested device permissions that have no connection to online shopping. It accessed phone systems in ways that went far beyond any legitimate retail function. The report's language described the app as potentially capable of gaining unrestricted access to a user's phone system. Right now, in mid-2025, Temu's parent company, PDD Holdings, remains a Chinese company fully subject to Chinese law. An application that behaves like surveillance software, built by a company that must cooperate with Chinese government intelligence requests, does not belong on your device regardless of how low the prices are. The fourth application is Shein. The same surface presentation, an affordable, convenient shopping platform with an enormous product selection, and underneath it, a documented data collection pattern that bears no resemblance to what a retail application needs to function. The Shein application has been found requesting an unjustifiable scope of device permissions. It accesses device state information continuously. It communicates with external servers in patterns inconsistent with retail infrastructure. Shein is a Chinese company. Its data practices have attracted formal regulatory scrutiny in the United Kingdom, in Europe, and elsewhere. A shopping application that operates as a surveillance tool while transmitting your data into a legal framework where foreign government intelligence agencies can access it is not a shopping application you need. There are other ways to buy clothes that do not come attached to this level of risk. The fifth application is Bigo Live. Bigo Live is a live streaming platform owned by Joy Y Inc., a company with deep roots and significant operations in China. Live streaming applications occupy a uniquely dangerous privacy category because their core function demands real-time access to your camera and your microphone. You are transmitting live audio and video from your device. Bigo. Live has been documented collecting behavioral data beyond its stated function, building detailed user profiles, and transmitting data to servers in China. Real-time biometric audio and video data, combined with location identifiers, device fingerprints, and usage patterns, represents one of the most sensitive possible data packages a phone can generate. When that package is being transmitted continuously to servers under Chinese government jurisdiction, the implications are severe. If this application is on your phone, it needs to come off before you finish reading this. The sixth application is Likee. Likee is a short video platform from the same parent company as Bigo Live, and it has built a substantial user base, particularly among younger people and teenagers. That demographic detail is the most important thing to understand about Likee's presence on this list. The application collects device identifiers, precise location data, contact information, and granular behavioral profiles. It transmits this data to servers in China. When the users generating that data are children and teenagers, the severity of the privacy violation escalates dramatically. Children's biometric data, children's precise location histories, children's behavioral profiles being built and transmitted into a legal environment where a foreign government intelligence apparatus has statutory access to them. If your children have Likee installed on any device, removing it is not optional, and it is not something that can wait. The seventh application is AliExpress. AliExpress is the retail platform operated by Alibaba, one of China's largest and most influential technology conglomerates. Unlike some applications on this list, AliExpress serves a genuine retail function that many people find useful, but utility does not cancel risk. The AliExpress application collects extensive data about your device, your browsing behavior, your purchase history, your payment information, and your location patterns. Alibaba is unambiguously a Chinese company operating under Chinese law. Any data you share with AliExpress exists within a legal framework that gives the Chinese government potential access to it by statute. The application has also been found communicating with servers in ways that exceed what its stated retail infrastructure requires. When alternative shopping platforms are available that do not carry this legal and security profile, there is no compelling reason to accept the risk. Now here is what you actually do. Step 1. Uninstall every application from this list that is currently on your device. Open your app drawer right now, find each one, press and hold, and uninstall. If any of these applications came pre-installed on your device and will only allow you to disable rather than uninstall, disable it immediately and revoke every single permission it holds. Document which applications came pre-installed because that information tells you something significant about your device manufacturer's commercial partnerships that should factor into your next hardware decision. Step 2, clear residual data. Uninstalling an application does not automatically remove everything it left behind. Go into your settings, then apps, locate recently removed applications, and clear any remaining cached data and stored files. Some tracking identifiers are specifically designed to survive the uninstallation process. You need to remove them manually. Step 3, go into your Google account settings and find third-party applications that have been granted access to your Google account data. Any application from this list or their parent companies appearing in that access list should have their permissions revoked immediately. Removing an app from your phone does not automatically revoke the account-level access it was granted when you first installed it. Step 4, change your passwords for any accounts associated with these services. And if you have used the same password for any of these accounts as for your email, your banking, or any critical service, change those passwords right now. Password reuse transforms a single data breach into a cascading compromise of your entire digital life. This step is not optional. Step 5. Conduct a full permission audit of everything remaining on your device. Go to Settings, then Privacy, then Permission Manager. Review every application that has access to your location, microphone, camera, contacts, and storage. Any application that cannot clearly justify why it needs a specific permission should have that permission revoked. Be aggressive. The default answer should be no, and applications should have to earn the yes. Step 6. Delete your advertising ID. Go to Settings, then Google, then Ads, and select the option to delete your advertising ID entirely. This removes the persistent cross-app tracking identifier that connects your behavior across different applications into a unified behavioral profile. It will not make you invisible, but it eliminates one of the primary mechanisms used to build and sell your behavioral data. Step 7. Go to your Google account at myaccount.google. Calm and disable web and app activity, disable location history, and enable auto-delete on whatever data collection you cannot completely turn off. Set retention to 3 months maximum. The less historical data that exists about you in any system, the less valuable and less vulnerable your profile becomes. Step 8. Consider your browser. If you're using Google Chrome as your primary mobile browser, you are sending browsing data back to Google by default. Switch to Firefox or Brave, both of which block trackers at the browser level without requiring any technical configuration. Here is the reality of what this list represents in June 2025. The global conversation about Chinese technology applications and national security has been escalating for years through government hearings, legislative action, regulatory fines, and intelligence community warnings. What has not kept pace with that conversation is individual awareness of what these applications actually do on a technical level and what the practical steps are to address it. Most people who are vaguely aware that TikTok has security concerns still have it installed. Most people who shop on Temu have never read a single line of the Grizzly Research technical report. Most parents whose children use Likee have never considered that their child's location and behavioral data is being transmitted to servers under the jurisdiction of a foreign government intelligence law. The information gap is the problem. And the information gap is exactly what these companies and the system behind them depend on to continue operating at scale. You now have the specific technical details, the legal context, the documented research findings, and the precise steps to act on all of it. The June 15th window is real. The regulatory environment around these applications is shifting, and the period between now and that date is the most important window you have to secure your device, protect your data, and make decisions based on full information rather than the incomplete picture these platforms have always preferred you to have. Your phone is yours. Your data is yours. The decision about where it goes and who can access it should be yours too. Make it now.